I do think that the Me Too monologues are a platform for empathy. I think when you go see them, you kind of feel for other people, and you know that other people can be experiencing things that you're not, and they were, brave enough to write stories about it.
Me Too Monologues is a super unique show that Marist does, where we get to hear the voices of the Marist community, because all of our monologues are written by Marist students, Marist faculty, and Marist alumni. It's really cool to get that perspective, especially because a lot of the monologues are always relatable to the audience members.
I feel like Me Too Monologues means a lot of things to a lot of different people. You have all these different ways to be involved. There's a group of actors that perform monologues that are written by other students, and then there's the production that puts that all together. For some people, it's a chance to have their story told without having to face people or to really tell it themselves.
So my first experience with Me Too monologues, I decided that I was going to just write up a monologue. I was, kind of experiencing a lot as a freshman. So I took a lot of those feelings, a lot of the ideas that I had that otherwise would be kind of a lot to just say in person, and I wrote a monologue about it. My monologue is called Fear, and it's just about different fears that people have in general and funnels down into what am I actually afraid of, which was kind of missing the opportunities to sort of be a good person, to be better, to be there for my friends. That was, at that point in my life, that's what I was truly afraid of. It was like fear of failure was really what I was afraid of. What I wanted to get out of that experience was just kind of to be heard, but I was hoping that in that moment they could at least just understand somebody feels this way. Somebody is just hoping that they're doing enough. I just hoped that everybody would understand that, and I think they did.
I wrote 3 different monologues because I felt that I had a story that maybe other people could relate to, and that maybe other people could think, the same thing happened to me, like, me too. And I thought that it would be interesting to have a story be told. So the freshman year monologue was a monologue I wrote about a time in my life when I struggled with an eating disorder. It was something that I still felt that it was an issue that people have, and I kind of wanted people to hear it and to be able to relate to it. It was just interesting to hear it almost like it was from a different perspective, though it was my perspective, I was the writer, but it was kind of like really real, I guess. Because it's one thing to just write something down, but it's another thing to hear somebody else read it. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool.
Found out about Me Too monologues through looking for a new way to get involved. It was that year that Me Too became such a special show in my heart, not only for its uniqueness, but what it did for me that year. That was the year that I realized I was gay. And I was going through a lot of self-acceptance issues, and my monologue actually pertained to that. And so through performing that monologue, I had to say I'm gay out loud, which was something I had never done before. So that monologue had pushed me to do that. It was actually that monologue that first had me say I'm gay to my parents out loud. And since then, it's just always had such a special place in my heart. But I remember the Saturday night performance when my family was in the audience. I stared right at them when I said it, and I was panicking. The nerves, I had never felt such intense nerves, and I was so afraid that I wasn't going to be able to do it. I was afraid I was just going to stop, or I was going to blank. but I stared right at my parents and I said it, and I gave the best performance of that monologue that I had. I walked off that stage and I just felt so much more confident about myself. I still had a lot to go through to get to the place I needed to be, but that was a huge step in the right direction, and I was never afraid of saying it ever again to my parents. And it made me accepting who I am and my happiness so much closer to grabbing. It really wasn't until my sophomore year where I was reflecting on the Me Too monologue experience the year before that I went, wow, not only was I being helped by this monologue, but someone in the audience might have been struggling to tell their friends or their family who they were, and this might have helped them. And that's just such an amazing thing.
The thing that makes Me Too unique is that with everybody's identity taken out of it, it creates this universal identity and allows for people to really express things that they may not feel like they're able to express, to hopefully create a stronger sense of community, but also to make people realize that you are not alone in what you are feeling or going through. And there's no way to really define what makes a good Me Too monologue, because everybody does have their story or something in them that they feel like they need to share, and by sharing it anonymously, it kind of gives this power to their voice and to their story.
Do you have a story?
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too. Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.